I really feel like I'm about to plan the best year ever, and it's all going to be based on being intentional, being mindful, being gentle with myself, allowing myself to not have to get so much done every single day while still hitting goals. I'm going to set up my goals in a way where I can have something to pull from in my plans for monthly plans, weekly plans, daily plans, and really execute the things that I really want to do this year. So I've said it so many times before, but when you are doing something, you need to have a why. So that's what I always like to start off with, whether it's coding, whether it's anything else. Why am I doing this? Why am I wanting to have intentional goals and plans for 2025? The first reason is because I want to be more intentional with my time, the time that I have with my children, my husband, myself. I don't make time for myself. I'm getting ready to have a whole third baby and I need to be intentional with my time. How can I work around him? How can I work around my girls when they get home from school? How can I make sure that me and my husband are still connecting and doing things and making sure that we are in line with our goals and dreams for our family and each other and all these other things. And then myself, this year, I neglected myself. Every year, I neglect myself, but that's going to change this year, and we're going to be intentional about making that happen. The second thing is I want to adopt a discipline over motivation mindset. I heard this in a video recently, and it really, really stuck to me. I hope I can find the video, and I will put it in the description below like I always do. But the thought was to not wait on motivation, because when you wait on motivation, and I can attest to this, going through this entire year, when you wait to just be motivated, you might be waiting forever, and then the things that you want to do might not ever happen. So when you think about it from a discipline standpoint of like building discipline instead of just like trying to get more motivated, I feel like the discipline is what actually makes you take action. So discipline for me looks like building routines, building schedules and strategies and systems that I can actually stick to that are realistic. That's another thing that I want to be mindful of this year, is having realistic goals and plans. And so with the discipline comes the action, because if I have these routines and I'm disciplined in doing them, then I have no other result but to see results. I have no other outcome but to see good results. And so discipline over motivation mindset is another reason. Another reason I'm doing this is because I want to be more clear on the things that I want to do, more clear on my paths, whether it's career, whether it's this channel, whether it's things that I want to do for my personal life. I want to have a more clear mind and path and objective of what I'm actually going for. And whenever I write things down and I have this go-to spot where I can pull from, it makes it easier for me to actually take the action and steps to do the things that I need to do, to be able to say, okay, yes, I am on the right path, or I need to tweak some things, or I might want to switch things up. But at least having it out of my head and onto a certain piece of paper or in a specific spot will help greatly. So getting clarity is a huge thing that I want to do this year. And the last thing is what I keep saying is planning with more intention. I really noticed a lot about myself this year. I have not been gentle with myself. I have not allowed myself to just be and to be okay with not getting every single thing done in a certain time frame. I have not been realistic with myself. I have not had a calm mindset and a calm approach to the things that I'm doing. Everything feels like it's been rushed. Everything feels like I've just been on the go, and I'm like running nowhere really, really fast. And so I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. So being very intentional with these plans, you guys are going to hear me say that word a lot because I feel like that's going to be the word of the year for me, is being more intentional so that I'm planning and setting up systems and goals in a way where I can be calm. I can feel like I'm not being hard on myself. If things do not get done all in a day, it's okay. We move on to the next day and we try again. That's the type of energy that I'm trying to come in with. Now, with all the whys out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about what I actually want to plan. The first and most important step, in my opinion, is to set goals. I like to set goals at the beginning of each year just because I like to feel grounded and know each area of my life. I look at each area of my life. So my finances, my family, my career, my studies, whatever it is that I feel like are the most important things to me at that moment, I like to set specific goals by topic for those different sections of my life. So setting goals is going to set me up to be able to, like I said, pull from this list of things that I would love to accomplish over the next year and be able to better plan my months, weeks, and days. I don't want to go into this year, 2025, of being super and overly ambitious and have like all these goals. If I can have 3 really, really strong goals, that is enough for me. That is something that I can say, okay, I have these 3 bigger goals. What can I do each quarter, each month, each week, each day to hit them by December 20 or December 25th. December 25th is coming up. That's my favorite holiday. But December 31st, to ensure that I actually made some type of improvement, made some type of progress towards whatever it is that I'm going for. So that's my first step every single time, is to really brain dump my goals. The biggest things that I want to plan this year and center my goals around is going to be the minimal Jess. So my channel, my content creation business, really ramping that up and really figuring out what I need to do for that. The next thing is going to be my studies. So figuring out how I'm going to finish this boot camp that I'm in, finishing up any certificates that I've started to study for, which I have studied for some. That's not this video, but I can talk about that in another video. So my studies, and then of course, family and lifestyle. So finances, things that I want to do with my family, planning more trips, anything that has to do with my family. Those are going to be my top 3 overall umbrella goals. So content, studies, and family. So now that we talked about the why I want to plan, let's talk about how we're going to do this. So let's circle back to the goals. The goal planning, and how I like to goal plan is literally getting a notebook, or if you like your iPad, your digital devices, do that. You can use your notes. Just have somewhere where you can literally just brain dump and just get it all out. Okay. What I like to do is take my notebook and literally just write down every single thing that I would love to do. I like to break my things up in sections, like I said before. So I'll have like the minimal Jess, I'll write a section that says personal, and then I'll write one that says studies. For each of those different subjects, I like to write down everything that I would like to accomplish. But this time, this year, I am going to be, you guessed it, being intentional. I'm not going to just brain dump all of these different tasks, or even all of these super, super small tasks. I'm looking at these overall bigger goals that I can attack and breaking those into smaller goals. Because I tend to make these task lists, and then I have like 15, 25, 30 things in one list for each section. To me, that's unrealistic. That's my opinion based off of my experience. So the better approach for me is to have these like 3 to 4 bigger goals that I can choose from, and then see, okay, like, does this make sense? Can I really actually like do all of this in the year? Can I do multiple of these goals, or should I pick one goal from each section that really, really makes sense to tackle? So for example, with the minimal Jess, a big thing that I want to do is really get into creating all the content that I really, really want to create, sharing more of the things that I actually enjoy, share more of the things that really help me outside of just tech all the time, and feeling okay about that, not overthinking things too much. An example for my studies is to finish my 100 Days boot camp, which I really, truly, definitely am going to do. I'm making progress. I'm just not trying to be as hard on myself with making the progress as I was before, where it's like, oh, you have to watch 3 lectures in a week. You have to do this, you have to do that. I'm going to take the time to make the type of progress that I need to make, and be very intentional about how I plan out those study sessions. Another thing for family could be the fact that I want to take more trips this year. We did not go on any trips last year. Even for my honeymoon, we did nothing. I don't think I ever told you guys this, but we got into a car accident the day after our wedding. It was a hit and run. They totaled my car. It's a whole story. If you want to hear about it, I can tell you. But basically, I haven't had a car since August of last year, 2023. So I want to be able to do certain things in my personal life, like get a new car because we have a new baby coming, possibly get a new house. There's just certain things that I want to do family oriented. So I need to look at what's realistic. I need to look at what I can be striving for. And that'll allow me, once again, like I said, to then further plan down the line. What do I need to do to get that there? So taking your goals, your overall big goal, and just breaking it down into specific tasks that feel more manageable, that you can do. What can I do in a month? What can I do in a week? What can I do in a day to attain that goal? So for the minimal Jess, I use Notion. That is where I have all my content. I use that for my content calendar. I started using that, I think it was at the beginning of 2024. So it has been used every single month this entire year, and I love it. I was thinking about switching it up. I might just more so switch up the design of it, because the actual structure of it and what I have going on there, I love it so much. It has everything that I need, but there are some things that I do want to tweak going into 2025. So being better at content planning and not feeling like I have to plan out the entire month worth of content, because honestly, that hasn't worked for me the last few months, which I feel like has hindered me from posting the way that I want to post on this channel. I usually plan out my entire month and have everything at a glance. I'm talking about short form and YouTube videos, so short and long form. But what I found, like I said, is that when I plan too far out, this is me in general with anything, I tend to have to move more things around because not all the time do things work out the way that we expect them to. There's pieces of content that I think I'm going to be able to do enough research on and practice on. And I just am not able to get that research and practice time in. And then I have to switch it up and do another piece of content that makes more sense and aligns better with the time that I have for that moment. So like I said, a big thing for the minimal adjust is going to be setting my content pillar. So I have a clear idea of what I want to post, at least the type of videos that I want to post, and I can better plan the type of videos I'm going to film, as well as getting clear on an actual schedule. So like, what is my posting schedule? What am I going for as far as like how many days I'm going to post a week and what days are those going to be? Because right now, as you can see, I try to post 1 to 2 times a week on this channel, and sometimes that could be Thursday and Friday, sometimes that's Monday and Thursday, sometimes it's Thursday, sometimes it's Tuesday. I need to be better and give myself more due dates, and so that I am tackling the things that I need to tackle to be consistent within the actual time frame of when I want to get things out. Hopefully that made sense. Along the lines of due dates, my really big goal for studying is going to be really focusing in on creating a study schedule. So I would brain dump all the things that I want to study, all the things that I want to accomplish for my coding journey, any type of certifications that I want to take, and then I would try to craft this study schedule around it. Now that's going to be a little tough for me because like I said, I'm going to be having my baby at the beginning of the year. I obviously don't know this little man yet, so I don't know what type of schedule he's going to allow me to be on. I'm basically on his time, so I need to figure that out. But once I can get in a groove, I can try to create this schedule to give myself more hard due dates. And honestly, a lot of this is going back to what I keep saying is being intentional and mindful about the fact that my study schedule is going to have to be flexible. Whatever I'm doing right now is going to have to be flexible, and I need to be okay with that instead of beating myself up about it and being like, oh my gosh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. It's like, it's okay, girl. Like, as long as you're trying and you're truly trying, it's cool. Like, give yourself grace. And so a lot of this too is being more flexible with the scheduling and the strategies that are being put in place. And then the last thing is, again, touching on the personal planning is how can I strategically, intentionally, mindfully craft out time for me? Because I'm about to be a mother of 3. I am a wife. I have other things that I want to do. There's so many things that I want to plan and accomplish in 2025. But I also can't do all of those things and be all of those things and wear all of those hats if I am not pouring back into myself. So I want to make time to just sit on the couch and watch a movie and play my game. That's what I want to do. I want to make time to just go outside and sit in the sun and not feel bad about it and not feel like I have to take my laptop with me to work on something in the sun, to just actually be out there. I want to read more books. I want to read more educational books, and I want to read more fiction books. So I've really been really in tune with AuthorTube lately. All the authors and writers on YouTube, I love those spaces. They're so calming and everything. And I also want to get back into my writing. So that's another reason I've been so intrigued with that space right now. So yeah, being more mindful of how I'm crafting all of these other things, all of these other plans and goals around myself, because it's okay to make sure that yourself is good. Like, it's okay to make sure that you're good and that you're taking care of yourself. I want to schedule more self-care days. That is okay. And it's also necessary. Okay, so to put all of this together, we are going to plan our goals. We are going to brain dump all of our goals on a piece of paper, a notebook, notes in your phone, whatever you have. You're going to brain dump everything that you would like to do in the year. But you're going to be mindful about the fact that you don't want to be unrealistic with the amount of things that you realistically can do. Like, look at your life. Do you have kids? Do you have school? Do you have work? Do you have things going on that just make having 30 goals in one year a little bit like, okay, let's scale back. Really be honest with yourself. What do you have the full capacity to do? Because the other big mindset here is to not experience burnout. I don't know if it's fully avoidable yet because I have not mastered that craft, but I definitely feel like it is definitely preventable. We can try to do more things to create less burnout, in my opinion. And that's another huge thing that I'm trying to do here, is to not feel burnt out. Because at the beginning of 2024, I went hard. I went hard for the first month. For the first month, I posted a reel, a TikTok, a YouTube short every single weekday. So Monday through Friday, there was something up. every single week, I'm pretty sure I posted at least 1 to 2 videos on YouTube, didn't miss. And then I felt that, and it was hard to get back on track. But I don't think that it was necessarily like a fall off. I feel like I got burnt out really quickly, and I tried to come back from it, but then I got lost, and I got increasingly more lost throughout the year. So we're going to write down our goals. Then we're going to find what works best for us planning wise. We're going to figure out, are we digital or paper planners? We're going to figure out, do we need a hybrid system? I'm a hybrid planner. I have to use Google Calendar because I need alerts for the things that I'm doing. But I also like to see the stuff in my face and not have to go into a device to see my plans. So I love paper planning along with that. So what my planning routine would look like is every month I'm going to look at my yearly goals. I'm going to look at the list of goals that I set for myself for the year. I'm going to say, okay, what goal do I want to focus on for this month? Or what parts of that goal do I want to focus on for this month? And then I'm going to take that month and plan out every single thing that I want to accomplish for that month, being realistic, being gentle, being mindful about what I can do in 30 days. Then I'm going to look at that list, and each week I have that list to pull from when I go to do my weekly planning. So for the first week of January, I can look at the list of things that I want to do in the entire month, see what makes sense for me to be able to do in January. For instance, so I'll give you an example using December. I want to get a certain Microsoft certification. I started the certification studies like back in the summertime, but then when I got pregnant, I got really, really sick and I fell off from everything. You guys know the story. So this month, one of my goals was to be prepared to take the certification 1st of January, like in the first week of January. So to do that, I'm going to take the goal. One of the goals this month is to study for that certification. So this week, the first week of December, is all about me going through the course again that I already took just to get a refresher, making sure that my notes are aligned to study from, making sure that I put everything into my Anki so I have the flashcards ready to go. That's all this week. I just collect all the things that I need to do. The remaining 3 weeks of December, I am doing my spaced repetition, my active recall. I'm making sure that I'm studying all the material that I set up to study this first week. That way, the first week of January, I should definitely be prepared to take the certification. That way I can knock that out, get that certification before my son even gets here. And then I don't have to worry about it. I already have it done and I can use it however I need to use it. So that is an example of how I would break down one of my yearly goals down to, okay, what can I do this month? How I'm going to do it this week. And then of course, by week, I can do each day, say like, okay, today I'm going to study this part of the certification, this particular topic. Tomorrow I'm going to study this. So you just break each thing down depending on what it is that you're doing. Again, when it comes to content planning, I love using Notion. You guys know that I have showed you guys that so many times this year, but Notion is my best friend when it comes to planning because like I said, I can look at my overall goals for this channel, figure out what it is that I want to do, and then figure out what makes sense to post within each month, and then just break it down from there. Today is a film day. I can film 2 videos today and have 2 videos out this week if that's what I scheduled. So take your goals and break them down. And I think you can kind of see what it is that we do. So paper, figure out your planning system, break down your goals, and then plan your months, weeks, and days. So overall, I feel like being more intentional, being more mindful, and being more gentle with myself, having a discipline over motivation mindset is going to take me a lot further this year, and not putting too much on myself like I usually do, and being very aware of what it is that I can realistically do is going to just help me so much this year. Hopefully, this can help you as well when you go into planning your goals for 2025. I know it's December, it's not too late. You don't have to start planning and just, do all these huge things to go into the new year. Like, take your time, really think about what it is that you want to do. And also know that nothing has to be permanent. You can switch it up, but having that foundation going into the new, era, I feel like is going to help so much. Just instead of going into it with everything in your head, getting it out, really analyzing things and really just being strategic is going to help so much. So I hope this helped. If you like these type of videos, let me know in the comments because I love making these type of videos. I love things about planning and organizing and just being more mindful and intentional about the time that we have. And I would like to share more things about that with you guys. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I love you guys. You know that. And I will see you in the next one.